Hello, Hassan. Hello, Alexandra.
Hi. Hi.
Let's wait for other students and start.
Okay. Okay.
Barbara written us that she will not join us.
I uploaded my materials to the Google Drive. Yeah, there's one PDF of the presentation, and the other one is a file with all the pictures that I rendered and all the pictures that I took in the experiment.
Yes, that's great. That's great.
Thank you.
Yes. Hello, Angel.
Hello.
So let's wait a few more minutes, and I think we can start. It's like a classic amount of people finishing the workshop when you're saying that there will be a presentation of work. Okay. So, Alexandra, will you be able to present the results today? So, as I understood, you finally imported everything in the hubs.
Yes, I created Zoom, so I think I can share my screen, or now I can upload video with my results. So
yeah, the video will be good. So I mean, today's session is basically kind of a feedback session. So you are showing your presentation of your results if you have one. If not, you can just show the results in your preferable way. So screen share or send us a link for the video, etc. And also today we will discuss like what you all kind of learned during the workshop, hear your feedback, and etc. So 4 or 5, nobody joining. I think it's like it's a presentation that scared people as usual. Okay. So I think we can start then. I will just send again the mail to everyone that we are starting. And okay, so let's start. So who will be first? Alexandra, Hassan, Angel, Anastasia, maybe you as well, but because the camera is off, so I don't understand. I was also just listening for the session.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyone would like to start?
Okay.
So I start?
Yes.
Okay.
I have no problem with it.
Okay.
I allowed the screen sharing.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I would like to start with it. I called it, it's a floated biodigital patterns because from the start of the experiment, my samples were floating. So Yeah, and somehow I reached to the final result and the Mozilla Hubs to make it floating as well.
Sounds intriguing.
Okay. Yeah, I have two samples. The first one started with a flower sample. This sample, okay, and we put it in the chemical liquid which contains the bleaching chloride, as well as the soap liquid and the salt and the water. And I just observed that the dead parts of the flower, which you can see it here, started to accept the liquid, and the breaking of the samples, breaking of the cells started from the edges of the, as you can see in the samples, after 2 hours. Then after 7 hours, the flower before the green parts started to be transparent, and then gradually it became totally transparent, and we can see the structure and the biopattern of this sample. Okay, later I could took specific shots to the pattern inside. I have just took that sample and I put it inside the water, because I found out that the structure is also can die, and we can see it more as I observe it now, because I see it, the structure is dying by time. So I just put it in the water, and I could took this picked pattern from my, sorry, by the camera of my phone. Okay, after putting it in the pattern, the first trying with an algorithmic equations in the Grasshopper, I could find this pattern, which is a planar pattern. I like the results actually, and then I tried to make it in different surface. So I chose the sphere to check what kind of results it could be. This results with the sphere. Well, here when I upload it to the Mozilla Hubs, and I will share with you the link. How can I send it in the chat? Because I would like everyone to join to try this. Where's the chat?
Yeah, when you're presenting, it's hard to find the chat.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, this one.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me move. So here I found something interesting. It's in Mozilla Hubs, especially the gravity feature inside the Mozilla Hubs. What I found out that when I tried to reach the sphere, of the bio pattern, when I reach and I stop flying, it put me to the ground. So, but there is the sphere cannot be be magnetic from the outside. So just when you enter it, you can fall down and you can walk. And there is a specific level that you can't climb on the sphere from the inside. So that's why I called it. I thought that we have some planet which made it from the biodigital pattern. Then we fly inside and we can walk. It's like usually we live on the planets, on the space, and we live on the outsider boundary of the planet. But in this experiment, in this trying, which I liked about Mozilla Hubs, we live inside the planet. So it's like inverse process that made me feel a different feeling when I live inside a sphere, and I see different typologies inside the plant. I don't know if it's appeared for you yet, because I can't reach it because of my internet connection.
Yes, I looked into it, and I think this was really like a interesting idea to start working with this model from inside. So it really looks interesting from inside because the pattern is complex, and it's created this a complex shape. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. But the other, this is how it, I don't know if you can see it now, my PowerPoint. Yeah, the best scene that I've seen, I reached to a level that I can't climb the sphere from the inside. But when I looked to the bottom side, I see this, I've seen this this pattern, like it's floating, and also it's like becoming and it's like assembled into one point. It's like a black hole or something. There is a phenomena is happening, and I've seen some dynamism in it. And I've logged in many times just to see this scene. I hope you like it. Yeah, the other experiment uh, from a wing I had before, a preserved butterfly. I bought it. I didn't kill it. I bought it from Malaysia a long time ago. And when we tried the experiments on the plants, I've just seen why I don't try with the wings of the butterfly. So because of the cells that they are so thin and they are so light, and in 3 minutes I could find the insider structure on the contrast of the plants. It took longer time, so I like this structure, and I just took a. Unfortunately, once I was thinking to put all the butterfly, but once I put it, it's separated because of the liquid was so strong to the wings. So I just took a shot for this part. Then I put it in the planar pattern and the algorithms. We could find this pattern, and also in the spherical pattern, it gave us another result. Thank you so much.
I think you didn't show the slides with butterfly because I see the slide that you're on the first slide. Yeah. Okay. So can you move back to the 8th slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, the butterfly pattern is really interesting. Because I mean, I didn't interrupt you because on the first shot, the plant looked also like a butterfly wing. So I thought, interesting. So is it a structure? Yeah, but with the butterfly wing, it looks really nice. And on the next slide, we can see how you mapped it to the sphere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also looks super cool. I think my general recommendation with improvement of your hub scene is that your textures here are so, I mean, the contrast in this texture is so deep that this Mozilla Hub room can be really brilliant if you can achieve the same texture in Mozilla Hubs. It can be a little bit tricky for architect because it involves a thing called the texture baking. So you need to apply the texture as I showed you before, and also maybe a light, and then compose everything into a single texture for the model, and then export the model together with the texture, because right now you're exporting untextured model. And this can allow you to get the results almost identical that you are seeing here. So with a deep light and shadow game, like in these examples. Yeah, but I think this is a really great outcomes. So I also can pass the word for the group. So maybe you, some of you have comments. Angela, Alexandra? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I really enjoy these results. I think it's very cool, and um, how you try to apply it to a small planet, not like some island or something flat, but the sphere looks really cool. And also all the results and how you present it is it looks great.
Thank you so much.
I like the sphere to one, and I like that you keep the texture, the original texture of the butterfly, and it looks very dirty. I don't know, but I like it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's noisy, but it's interesting how the contrast is keeping its in structural like form.
Thank you. Actually, I wanted to mention how could I make it in a spherical. All the algorithm, the final result. Just you connect the points with there is a component called map to surface. So you can do it not just on a sphere. You can do it on different type of surfaces. So just you connect the target surface, which is the new surface, and the points, and also the main surface. So once you link it, you link these all, you can find the results, and I will share it the algorithm with you so you can use it in the next experiments if you like.
Thank you.
Thank you
so in result, I think it's a really great outcome. So and I like how the final form of a space is influenced by both steps. So I think it's really tricky at some point to combine these different methods of getting a product like by experiment, Grasshopper script, and a virtual reality space. But in this presentation, we are seeing how it's all kind of joined and mixed all together. So it's interesting to see.
Thank you so much.
So if there is no more comments, we can jump to another participant, or like maybe Hassan, you want to say something?
Yeah, I finished. I don't have anything right now. Thank you so much.
Okay, Alexandra, maybe you can be next.
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
First, my thoughts about first part of the workshop reminds me the phrase from my favorite author that we all are just the threshold through which the round dance of states, emotions, and patience goes through. So then I looked at these plants without pigment. I thought about this type of threshold in which you can put any essence, any soul which you like, and start doing some manipulations. Then it was a bit tricky for me to connect second part with digitalization with these quite natural structures. And after that, I thought at the third part, I thought that I found these connections because we can put human to this part and change some emotions, passions, and states inside of human mind through making these digital things, through making this new reality. But I had some problems with optimization of my um, structure which I get. As you can see here, for example, we have very complex structures, and also I put here the screenshot from Rhino because I really enjoy the results which I get in Rhino, and after that I just needed to make it more simple. So here you can see just a big amount of polygons. And also I can share the link. Wait a minute. So you can enter the room and watch how it looks like, how you feel inside of it. I think that's all. I really enjoyed this workshop. This quite give some good experience to think about new 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 kinds of projects which we can do, because as architects I don't have I can't just do something like dreaming like here, but this is a cool opportunity. Thank you for it. That's all.
Thank you. I'm just open the room, so maybe I can share my screen. I think it looks really nice. So I understood that your like a leaf structure was too complex, right, to import it. But I mean, that's a kind of a general problem with Rhino exported 3D models, that they're somehow too much complex even for like a basic geometry, like a sphere, for example. So when you export it, it takes too much effort to render and to be loaded in the graphics memory. But I mean, but also it's interesting how I mean, still despite of the problems, it's interesting how you're getting this space by overlaying some of your previous works, as I understood. I also like this structuring or texturing, sorry, and the structures as well. It's looks really interesting. And this object, I think it's from your diploma project. You just kind of added additional texturing to it, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it also looks nice. I'm glad that you finally managed to get it into.
Yes, I simplified everything as much as I could, and for some reason, some textures are just disappeared from my project. So something is just white, because the flying spheres was colored, and I colored them in Blender, but as they disappeared after importing from Rhino, they also disappeared after importing from Blender. I don't know why.
It's probably because you have several materials, so it's better to keep one material for object. So it's probably like the white material is the first one in the list, and you modified the next one, something like this. So I mean, I'm betting for it. But it looks like a concept still. So it would be great, of course, that objects like this dinosaur or sphere have a texture as well. But still, as a concept, it works, I think. And I mean, as like from my work, what I've seen is that for architects, it's a little bit hard to work with the game engines or with softwares like Mozilla Hub, which is similar to game engine, because the architectural tools are not so kind of aligned with the idea of like optimization and keeping in mind that your model will be used in the runtime. In this case, what I generally recommend is to try to move your workflow into Blender a little bit further. So even if your pipeline is kind of Rhino based, you still can export a mesh, maybe a chunk of it, and that you cannot do in Blender, and then colorize it and texturize it there. So it will be much better than texture in Rhino. Also for the algorithms like this leaf, as I understood, it's something like just a extraction of a color of a pixel, and then you are mapping this color to a height. of the object. So in this case, it's also possible to do so in Blender, and maybe it can be faster. So sometimes you can do, just use another software. But for architects who used to kind of use Rhino for all parametrical stuff, it's sometimes a hard migration. But it's allow you. I mean, it's hard. But after you kind of pass this barrier of understanding how the things are optimized, it's much easier for you. Because in Ephemera 1, I think that Daria, she always tried, before she tried to do everything in Rhino, and it's never worked well. So always we had a huge load times, polygon optimization was a nightmare. But then she started to migrate in Blender into Blender, and also started to design the models with optimization in mind. So it's basically like you are designing for VR instead of like doing something in Rhino and importing it into virtual reality. Because I mean, the other problems here with such scenes is that they sometimes works on the laptops, but if you try it in a standalone glasses like Oculus Quest or Oculus Quest 2, it can be laggy. So it's better to optimize it and test on phone. And if on phone it works, it will work on virtual reality as well. So and in this case, hubs give you this opportunity to load the scene on any device, like a laptop, phone, virtual reality device. But at the same time, it requires you to optimize this model, so it will work on a low level device, not low level, like a low powered devices. Let's name them like this, because sometimes phones are not super low level, or sometimes they can be quite expensive and fast, but still they consume small amount of power, and this is why in a general mode they render everything not so quick, because otherwise your battery will be dead in like 10 minutes. But I think I really like this work, and you did really a great job by importing everything and optimizing. And I really love that I finally see your vision of us in a spatial form, because on your diploma project, I think you didn't get there. So maybe because of the technical complexities. So I think it's a nice extension of your work. Yep. So I think I'm done. So if Angel or Hassan have any comments.
Actually, I like the idea of this making this a dreamy world. I don't know, just remembered Antoni Gaudi. How was the mindset, his mindset and his way of thinking about making different objects, different world and different scenes to optimize, and how to make his final results in architecture. And I guess this is important for someone as an architect or a designer to create such kind of worlds. I think it's something outside the box. So I really like this world, and I liked how I would like to visit it if it's real, and I would like to just walk in this world. Just it will inspire me different ways of the design. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, Hassan. Very kind comment. Angel,
Yeah, I think it's very inspiring for someone to want to convert a two-dimension image or illustration in a way to a 3D shape or a 3D world. So it's a very amazing world. This it remembers me to the shapes of PlayStation 1. I don't know, some game, old game. It looks so retro. I like it.
Yeah, I think this low polygon aesthetics can be also the kind of a thing to work with. Yes. And this thing, this whole is a classical problem when you export the UV shape, I think how it's named in Grasshopper, to 3D engine, and sometimes it didn't close the edges. So last time we did this problem, I think we closed it by hand in Blender or something like this. So there is a really strange bug when exporting the mesh from Rhino, and it didn't close. Yeah, I really agree that super inspiring, and I'm glad that you're using this illustrational patterns that then converted into 3D models, and maybe I think as a further steps, as with Hassan, so Hassan can use texturing to improve the contrast, but in your case, I think texturing can allow you to transfer from the illustration to kind of 3D model, but maybe in a similar feeling, like you know, when the games are structured like an illustrations, so it's possible to do. So you apply textures from the illustrations, maybe adding some hand-drawn elements, etc. So at some point, it's all looks like a three-dimensional illustration. So I think it can be like this if you texturize all the white elements. Because I mean, because in already textured elements, your like color sense can be felt. So, but the white objects are right now making it more like a concept, which is okay. But I think if after you can apply your texturing to all elements, it can look like your illustrated piece, but in a spatial form. Okay, thank you. So, Alexandra, if any more comments?
Yeah, thank you for comments. I think now I know how to improve this part. So thank you.
Thanks. So I see that Kira enabled the camera.
Yeah, hello everyone. You have really wonderful works.
Thanks. But I'm not sure why I'm replying for Alexandra and Hassan, because
I have a project too, actually. But for me, it was a struggle with the software because I never worked with 3D. So for me, the goal was to overcome these difficulties and made something with it. So I made a pretty empty world, but I can share a link with you.
Yeah, it would be great to see. I'm sharing my screen share.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can start with a little presentation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
Maybe I should turn off the camera.
No, it's like it's because you have a low, slow internet connection. No,
yeah,
we can't.
Maybe. Well, okay, then I will go back to you, and
you need to press this green button, share screen, select a needed part of screen, like a screen or software, and then press share. Yeah, now we see it. Thank you.
So I took a leaf of the butterfly-like plant. It was purple, but during this decomposition it becomes very transparent, but I still have some texture in it. And the hardest part for me was to use the Rhino because this pipeline was very unusual for me. Usually I used Touch Designer, maybe you know it. You can use these objects later in Touch Designer to make some textures and 3D objects also, and some crazy scenes. I think I will do it later because I really liked what I can do in Blender and Rhino, but it will take some skills and some more time for me. And this is a pretty empty world, but I managed to do it eventually, so I can share it with you. And I have some trouble to insert some other 3D objects here because I have a lot of errors with the capacity of memory, I think. So unfortunately, I can only see it in my view, but I can't create in Mozilla Hubs this world with other 3D objects. Also, I'd like to ask everybody if you know this thing, maybe in Unity or some other software, I can create a sphere and put a video on it. And after that, can I insert it in a Mozilla Hubs or something like that?
Yes, in Mozilla Hubs, I can show you. Is it the old presentation or you have some more stuff?
Yeah, this is all.
Okay, but it would be great if you share the link to the room, to the hub room in the chat so we can access it. Because I think despite the landscape is simple, it's quite interesting still, so it would be interesting to check. And for your question, yes, I will show you. So in the Spoke, you have this ability to, I will just start with a new empty project. And in Spoke, you have this ability to insert different textures, but this can be an image texture or a video texture as well. So this one, for example, is a video texture that I downloaded from YouTube. And you see that it's first when I insert it here, it's just a square, right, or rectangle. So but I can convert it into sphere by just using this setting called projection. So if I put it like this, you see I can be inside of the video, and probably if I can play, yeah, the video will start, and it's a 360 videos that I downloaded from YouTube. So because of this, it works like a 360. So now I'm kind of in Hubs watching a 360 video. It's kind of nice thing.
Yeah, it could be a great easy test for installations.
Yeah, it's especially for virtual realities. When you're using it in a headset, if you are doing a full dome video, for example, in a headset, if you scale the sphere right, you are able to test it, and because even the sound works. So the sound is stereoscopic. So when I rotate my head, the sound is changing.
Yeah, this is a great tool for this stuff. Thanks a lot for sharing all your knowledge and to all the people who do it.
No problem. No problem. It's a really kind of popular trick, this one, because if you look into how, I will show you. You see my screen, right? Because yeah, so I show in the browser. So in some projects in Ephemera 1, we are using this like a spaces. One sec. Sometimes it's loading project 1. We are using this spaces like here, where you can, so there is a model like this, right? And there are like a world around it. So the hack to do so is to use a texture, which is a spherical texture, and basically put a huge sphere around your model. So this allows you to have this environment around your model. It's a really popular trick. A lot of people doing it. It's like in old games, and it looks beautiful on shots. But the problem when you go out from the model, so you basically, of course, see that this is a picture, because the resolution not so great, etc. But this is a good hack to add some atmosphere to Mozilla Hubs, because Mozilla Hubs right now it's really so essential like a PS1 game, and I think Mozilla Hubs is somewhere a little bit beyond PS1 or PS2 level of games right now. But I still think it's a kind of a great tool to use even right now, because it's make things really accessible. So all the spaces, they can be visited, all these experiments can be shared, and I think this is much more important than having like a super advanced graphical engine which gives you shadows and lights, but limits the possibility of viewing or interacting with the thing. So and for prototyping, it's really nice, and this spherical hack is, I think it's really powerful, and 360 videos, it's also a really good thing to do, because I mean, if you able to, for example, to capture a 360 video of an atmosphere like this, so you basically can do a dynamic atmosphere like clouds moving or something like this. It can be really nice to see, but the resolution is a problem, because even this 360 texture, I think it's like 50 megabytes or something more. So for video, for spherical video, you need a high resolution, especially at this scale, like 4K or something better. So it can be network consuming, but still will work. Yeah. So thank you, Kira, for presenting. I think it's cool that you showed the progress, despite that you didn't get like an amazing result in your sense, but I think it's still interesting. So I will check your landscape right now, because I mean, what we are trying to learn at this workshop is how to combine all the tools step by step. So if you're able to get to the end, I think it's already a great achievement, because you need to use 3 different tools to do so. Yeah, and the landscape is interesting. I like the coloring. The speed coloring is really nice, I think, and it sets an interesting shape to it. And it's also great that it's like a big one, so you can like fly around and see the structure. But I think it's a really big one, because I can't move away.
I scale it down.
No, but it's still I mean, it's interesting, because
the problem with other 3D objects, because this one was really big.
Yeah, it's a big one, and I also like how the optimization did this new structures, like these artifacts. Looks interesting. Yeah. I think what, in a general comment, maybe the algorithm can be a little bit improved. I mean, in a Grasshopper, so you, the shape will be maybe more readable, because you see right now it's hard to read the leaf patterns. But still, I think this. I like that you see you have these different areas and regions. So like a real landscape that you got from a plant. So it's interesting. Yeah. So any comments from a group? Angel, I see that you want to comment to make a comment. No.
No. I think I have similar problems with the modeling and the weight of the objects in Mozilla Hubs, but it's an issue that you have to solve, reducing the weight.
Yeah, Hassan, maybe you can comment on like a landscape shape, or.
Yeah, actually, I've noticed that the result, I mean, the texturing, I like the texturing here while when we import it from Grasshopper, it gives us like there is some noisy effect. I don't know, but I like the way and the smooth of the texture, despite of the it's like softer and it's more quiet that the results maybe that we have done. I like this way, especially there is a smoothness in the between the material and the texture as well. So there is a combination between the pink to white texture and also the texture of the leaf pattern itself. However, it's not that much clear, but still I feel it's like a cloud, and I feel when I walk on it, and it gives me some feeling. I don't know what it is, but it's really nice.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, I think that's it. So Kira, if you have any more comments or thoughts.
No, thanks a lot for feedback and for making it possible to learn all this stuff. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Angel, you're next, I think, because Nastya didn't enable her webcam, so I'm not sure if she was us or not. So
I'm you, but I'm not exactly sure that I want to show my result.
okay, so as you prefer, we will not be pushing you.
Yeah, thank you. Can I share my screen?
Oh yes, sorry.
Okay, thank you. So okay, I have here some screenshots. At first, this leaf I tried to make the experiment, but I had not looking. So it appeared some white spaces and not totally transparent, the leaf. And I finally got this result, but not totally transparent. So I really did to took another sample. I download another sample only to prove what happens when it's totally transparent. And I will do it again. So I have to wait more time, more a few days, I think. So I make the algorithm in Rhino. It was something new for me too. So in Blender, I was experiment with the with this with these modifiers, with some modifiers and some textures. I changed the texture in Photoshop, and I was experiment with the colors and the contrast, and I obtained some results for this leaf. And finally, I have some problems to upload to Mozilla Hubs, but because the number of polygons was too much, so I have to reduce. But when I was reducing the values, the shape was changing too much, so I stopped in some point. Make a kind of world using this proof of a photogrammetry that I made a few days ago on a street near my house, and I use it to put some leaf on the street. In the outside, use the terrain as the form of the first leaf, and the experiments put in the outside. So I use another example in the sky. Where? Okay. I think that's all. The thing I most like is how it feels when you walk on this surface. You walk and it feels like you're going up and down every time, like it's like a mountain or some kind of. So I can share if you want to enter, but maybe it's a little.
Yeah, it would be great to see it by myself. No, not in this chat. No, it's a Hubs chat.
No, it's very way, I think, but okay, it's all. That's it.
No, we didn't get the link because you put it in the Hubs chat. No, you need to send us in a Zoom, not in a Hubs.
Get us.
Okay.
Get it from the browser.
yeah, it's like you immersed
Send
in
it
the...
to yourself.
Yes.
So
You immersed in the Hubs too much. Like it became...
I'm trying to find the wait a moment.
Yeah, I really like. Still, it's interesting.
Okay, I want to stop sharing. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting how you combined all those elements together in a room, and I really like your iterations with the leaves. So you put a lot of kind of try and error work into understanding of how you can represent this leaf, and I think there are some interesting examples of it. One sec, if it's loaded on my computer, I can screen share your room. And also you combine it with your other kind of experience, like a photogrammetry. So it's also interesting. Yeah, but for me it's still loading, so it's heavy, right?
Yes, it's heavy.
Let's wait.
I was checking the Ephemera 1 spaces. I really like some spaces when you reconstruct a real space, like a theater or a house, and the shapes was floating and some triangles floating, and it's really cool.
Yeah, but if you also look, so on the Seal Gallery website, I think I shared it, but I can send it again. There are spaces beyond ours. So some from our ex-students or other artists. So it's really interesting compilation of spaces happening right there. So I can maybe while the room is loading for me, I can share you some describe. So I really like this one. Edges of the middle of the nowhere. Really cool reconstruction. This is ours, so we've seen it. This is by our ex-student and also Digital community, the Pact of Digital Naturalness. Also, every room has an avatar like this. And this one is a fresh one, which I didn't see yet, but I like that hubs can look like this, because I mean I always think through polygons, and I like when people are starting to use edged meshes. I really like this style. I think for Alexandra it can be interesting because it's allow you to be more illustrative in the 3D. And this one, Zweiton, is a new one space which uses a lot of fog. Yeah. So and Seal Gallery running on as I described you, on a decentralized hubs instance. So we set it up by ourselves. I did the coding and also modification of the like a UI. So if you open the scene like this, so go to space, you press it, and now you are moving to our custom hubs instance. So basically hubs Seal Gallery. And this modified instance has a much more simple UI, like a more RC. Still loading. Wow. And this one didn't load. Probably because I'm streaming and zooming all the time.
No, I think maybe you will never enter to this space because it have near to the million of polygons. So it's a huge.
Okay, but in this case, maybe I can ask you to assemble some kind of PDF or something with the screenshots, or just put the screenshots of your space into the folders that we provided. Because Digital Futures asked us to provide kind of a template with the workshop outcomes. I didn't check the template yet. I will do it tomorrow, but I will write you if I will need more materials. But right now, it would be great to have all materials in this folder so we can assemble outcomes showcased by ourselves, or maybe we will ask for additional like materials from you. It can be really beneficial for you as well because it's kind of a publicity. So it will be a gallery with the students' works, with the credits, etc. So I think it's like we can think about it as about like a collective exhibition of results. So quite interesting. Yeah, it didn't open yet, and my Hubsil instance also didn't open. Hubsil. Okay.
I think I will try to scale down or slow down the number of polygons and the faces in the meshes, and try to upload again.
Yeah. Okay. This one is loading. So I wanted to show you this room. So this is and this is the interface that we did for Seal Gallery, which you can, as you can see, it's much more kind of architectural. I don't know. We removed unneeded buttons, and in this case, this spaces looks really like a games. I really like basically how the space fits the interface. Yes, so this is a new space, and all the spaces are audio pieces as well, so you can go and listen them. So yeah, and I think that when you look at such spaces, this really looks modern. So this is this style really kind of allows us to be simple in the case of number of polygons, but at the same time the complexity is here. So we have a lot of objects, all of them moving. So I think kind of interesting elements to see in virtual reality.
And how movement was created in Blender or
in Blender? I think I can show you the simple way to animate. We have some time, so I can show you the simple way to animate objects in Blender. So it's really quick. So it's hard to do animations with freaks, etc. Like when you animating the character and you need to morph it. But when you making a simple properties animation, it's quite easy. So you're opening Blender, and there is a timeline already here always. So you just need to go to the properties of your scope like this, and put property like rotation, for example. So I will use Z rotation like this. So first you need to put the first keyframe like this. So I put the first keyframe, and next you need to put another keyframe like this. And here you need to put another number. And it sometimes didn't work. So 1 second. Blender has really strange animation logic. When you do it one time, it works. Sometimes it's not. So okay, here you're going here, but now you do not need to put this, I think, and you need just to type your. Okay, so you need to first type, and then you need to hit keyframe. Yes. So before it's basically did like this. So it's put the keyframe on 0, and then I changed it to 180, and it didn't animate, but and it showed the line because it was a constant position for all frames. But now you see that it's interpolated. And the trick how to test the cycled animation is to put the numbers of frames here in the project the same as your animation, like this, 180. And then if you press play, you will see how your object is rotating, and it will be doing it over and over again. Also, there is a trick that in Blender the animation is not time-based, so you need to calculate the amount of frames that you need. And here you see that you have this FPS, so this is how much frames in 1 second, so 25 frames per second. If you want to speed up things, so you need to put the keyframe closer, like this. And also there is a cool trick that allow you to loop things constantly. So while you the problem, if you see here, no, it's not, right now it's not doing a full rotation. I don't understand why it's because it's starting from not from 0. So okay. Yeah. So and I don't need this keyframe. Yeah. So the trick is, you see that now it's not like a constantly rotating, so it's sometimes pausing for 1 frame. So the trick is to remove the duplication of these frames. So 0 frame and 40 frame should go 1 by 1 or sequence. So in this case, you're just putting -1 frame at the end, and you see now the rotation is constant. Like you don't duplicate the first frame and the last one. And another trick here is to change the interpolation mode, because right now there is easing applied, so there is some accelerations in the movement. So if I press here and change interpolation mode to linear, there will be constant rotation. And interpolation mode can be, I don't know, chosen like this. So elastic one, so it's more organic. It's a place to experiment. But after you've done this animation in Blender, just press File, Export, GLB. Animation test. And if I include the selected objects, tag geometry, all done. And for animation, you need to select group by analog track, but I think it will work for such animation without it even. So I've exported, and 1 sec, I will check it's in my folder. Yeah, so it works. I will show you here. So you see in the Windows Object Viewer, you also have this animation timeline right now, which you can press and look for your animation. So it's a good way to test your animations. But like a rule of thumb here is to keep them simple. Like if you can move objects, rotate objects, etc. So this simple animation doesn't require you to kind of increase the size of the model, etc. So as you can see, I will show you my File Explorer. So just 4 kilobyte animation. So in this case, it's super easy to create a simple worlds where you're using these spheres or cubes, which are animated as an example that I showed to you. And there's animation doesn't require you to have a lot of complexity in your scene. So, any more questions?
I have just comments. I would like to thank you for this amazing workshop. I learned a lot actually, and to be honest, it will be part of my research in Bern University of Applied Science. Today I had an interview. We had a meeting about research plans, and they told me if I would think about some individual courses that I would like to take there. I would like to take it, and somehow, I don't know, maybe in synthetic landscape lab in Innsbruck University. I will see how things would go. I'll just wait. My visa will come in August, and I'm very thankful for a lot of knowledge that I have learned. This is really what I liked. And actually, a long time ago, I've just noticed the synthetic lab in Innsbruck University, and I said, yeah, this is amazing, and this is really what I want to do in my PhD. And I'm glad that I joined the workshop of Synthetic Landscape Lab in this workshop. I would like to thank you again for everything, and I wish you a very nice journey in your career all, and I'm so glad to meet you all.
Yeah, thanks. It's can be a really interesting connection. I also hope to be in Innsbruck in October, I think, because otherwise I will be dismissed from the university because I started my PhD online, and now I need to travel to finalize my application. But because of the COVID, I'm not sure that I will be able. It's a third wave here in Russia, so still not sure. But I think it can be somehow solved with my visa as well. Yeah, and also, to be honest, the Synthetic Landscape Lab have another workshop during the Digital Futures, I think. So Marie is doing it together with Claudia and Claudia Pasquera and Artem Kanevsky. From my side, I'm organizing this on behalf of the ITMO University, which is like a big technical university in Russia, where I'm creating the digital art master's program together with Maria and Laura as well. But yeah, with Maria, we both from Synthetic Landscape Lab as well. So Maria is finishing her PhD there, and I'm just starting. So I'm also like formulating my research thesis at this point. So
thank you so much. I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Yeah, I also wish you a great journey for your academical career. It's a really important thing to do and really hard. So we all know how it's. Yeah, so also I will upload this recording later to our YouTube channel. So I'm not streaming because it's always hard for me to connect to ITMO University account because it has a two-factor authentication. So I always need to call and ask for the second password. And it's much easier for me to upload it later. So it will be available for all the participants of the workshop. So as soon as Nastya do not want to present anything, we can move to the closing words, I think. Nastya?
Yes.
You want to show something, or we are like wrapping up?
I don't know. I think it won't add anything. The projects of the participants was amazing. You are so talented, and that's extremely cool. And I'm aspired to try to be like you. So And thank you for the workshop. A lot of amazing skills and a lot of inspiration for the future projects.
Yeah, thank you very much. But don't be shy to show something if you want. I mean, I think for myself, I always kind of trying to in academia, especially to kind of keep this feeling of openness. So if you want to show something, and you think it's kind of maybe not in the best quality, it's no reason that to do not show it. I mean, and also maybe we will find it much more interesting than you are. So it's always kind of a question of preferences.
Okay, I can share the link if it's but there was a problem with exporting my models because they were from 1 second. They were from 3D Max, and something changed when I made them in Blender. They became smooth and not quite beautiful. It's not like they were beautiful, but it was my university project, and strange here. But I like that this landscape that we were making in the grasshopper is very pronounced in and it looks like those leaves. And it is an interesting experience.
Yeah, I see that.
I can't hear you. You're
Yes, sorry. I'm like an angel. Muted myself on both hubs and Zoom. So I pressed all the microphone buttons. So yeah, I see that we are starting to flood this room with other participants. I think you are over criticizing yourself. So really nice test project. So why it's not cool? I'm not sure. So it's interesting, like building structures that from your previous works that you imported into landscape that you got from a leaf. And it's also interesting that these two different scales intersected all together. So the scale of architectures that you worked on and the scale of a leaf pattern, which is like increased several times. Yeah, I agree with Hassan, very nice. So don't be shy to share such projects. Of course, it can be improved. I mean, it can be improved by applying textures, applying lighting, baking it all, but for a quick work for one day, it's perfectly fine, and I don't think that you need to blame yourself for it. And I think it's also super nice that you're using your past experience together with a new one, so like a growing both like as an artist and as a professional architect. So it's also a good way to learn and try new stuff. And the textures, I mean, not textures, the models from the 3D Max, yeah, it's probably because not smoothness, but maybe just because of the texturing. So it's lost the complex slides that you had in the Max, and this is why you don't see a lot of shape here or texture on the models, but it's perfectly fine for a quick prototype. Because we got the idea, so you used this leaf as a landscape for the architectural part that you already done. So it's a really nice idea, I think.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Yep, no problem. Ansel, Hassan, Alessandro, maybe you have some thoughts. Kira as well, but I insist that Kira disabled her camera, so maybe she not.
Yeah, actually, why you over criticize yourself? It's really nice. I felt it like it's something in sci-fi movie, especially the connection between how can I say the connection between the grasshopper and these buildings. I like we are in another galaxy, so it's very nice. I really like it. Don't be shy again.
Those buildings were inspired by Chernykhov's architectural fantasies. So it is really close to the original drawings. but unfortunately I lost the textures. So I think that this is interesting that his view of the future combines with this new way of thinking in this digital art, when we are combining digital and biological. So
very well. Yeah, really nice. For me, it seems like a Mars architecture or something, because I see, but I'm not so deep in interstellar architecture. But I've seen some projects about like a Mars architecture. So it seems like it for me. Yep. So, anyone have more thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the same, that it's something on Mars or maybe on the moon landscape. And also I can suggest maybe to use in Blender not only the modification, but you can install the AR Spark tool. For me, it worked a bit quicker because my computer just have some terrible situations. Then I tried to apply the modifier which you showed us. And AR Spark tool, it just make the model simpler, and for me it worked quicker. So maybe it can be a good solution.
so you added models in Spark AR, and then
No. You can download the Spark AR tool. It works for Blender and it works inside of Blender. It's just like a plugin.
Oh, I didn't know. And it has optimizations there, right?
Yes, it make I think the same work as
Decimate but
yeah.
maybe it's presets for Decimate.
But it's create. I think it make model not so heavy because AR Spark needs even smaller models than Mozilla Hubs, so it works, I think, better.
Thanks for the tip. I didn't try it. Okay, so yep, thank you, Anastasia, for presenting. I think it's nice work. It would be great again if you submit your outcome presentation to the folder. So, and I will contact you guys after the workshop if I will need additional materials for the final digital features exhibition. Yeah, so I think now we can move to the closing words. I'm really glad that you was with us during all these 4 days. It was short, but I think quite intensive workshop for you, because we used different tools and methods. It's also kind of experiment workshop for us, because usually when we teach solo. So it's interesting for us as for art and science curators to combine different methods that we use in our like a daily work together and see the results. And as with any cross-disciplinary work, I think the results is quite interesting and innovative. Because we combine this kind of unconnectable pieces all together and different disciplines all together. So I'm really glad that you was able, all of you, to pass these steps and connect all the dots. Of course, I mean, when you look at your projects right now, a lot of stuff can be improved and optimized, but I hope this is kind of a challenge for you for the next days to come. So maybe if you're like a Hassan, want to make it your master's or PhD or something like this, or I don't know, part of your maybe work as a design studio, we will always be able to help you. So you can contact us. We usually advise people on different matters that we involved with. So if you have any questions about like optimization in Hub. So I don't know, Grasshopper or something, just drop us a question, and at least we will always kind of send you the right thing to read. So
thank you so much. Thank you.
And for further steps for you, yeah. So I think it all can be textured. You can optimize and find new ways to make a three-dimensional objects in Rhino from your bioexperiments. And also, I already see that some of you want to make another experiment with different like an object. So also feel free to share us results maybe after the workshop if you will get something interesting. It would be cool to see. And for like my overall experience, I think it's all went great. Of course, we lost some people along the road, but right now, me and my friends, so I'm in our kind of community doing something like 4 workshops on digital features. So I'm doing one, Maria doing another in parallel, Daria, my wife, she's doing Ephemer1 workshop right now. Also, Digital community doing another one, and our friend from Digital community, Eduard Hyman, also doing one, so even more than 4. And at all the workshops, we are seeing that people are like coming and leaving because some of them work, some do not like maybe satisfied with the outcomes, so they don't want to present. So I think in our case we got really decent results for a kind of 3-day intensive workshop, and because today is just a presentations day. Yeah, I was pretty glad to know you all, and glad that you're all from different parts of the world. It would be quite interesting after this pandemic is kind of not over. I'm not sure if it will be over, but kind of softened. We can meet each other somewhere in some place. So yep, maybe you have some more closing thoughts to share. Feel free.
Yeah, I'd like to say again, thank you for this workshop, because it creates a small shift in my mind about thinking of virtual reality, because at first I thought more about creating a new reality and modifying a surrounding one. But during the workshop, I thought about the transformations, and also because of the gallery works. I forgot a bit. It's CL Gallery, and also Hassan's work, sorry, Angel's work. It shows the scanned things, scanned worlds, and it reminds me how memory works and how lucid dreaming works. When you start to look closely, some things become strange, some just broke, or some are not that you expect to be. For example, when you think that you see your friends while you're dreaming, but if you sleeping consciously, then you have the opportunity to look closely and understand that the face is blurry and it's a bit different. And for me, that's projects which work with scans. It's like a different type of memory, and I think it will be very interesting to try something like this. So maybe this was a great inspiration for me. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback. I'm really interested to see your further works, your next works. Maybe you can share it with us later in a time, in a year, months, days. Yeah, Angel, yeah, please.
No, I want to thank you so much. I really enjoy the way you in this workshop use the reality or shapes of reality and become digital. in this way, it wasn't modeling. I was reading 2 weeks ago an article called "Modeling is Dead," because now you can become a mesh of everything without modeling. So this technique, or these new techniques, is amazing for this, and the shapes and the texture you can get. I really like it, so it's cool. Thank you.
But I think the modeling is not dead. It's just like a hype, because photogrammetry was too expensive, but the chip leader technologies will allow us to transfer more and more stuff into virtual reality. But I think without modeling, you cannot be like creative. So you can just capture the reality, but you still need to have modifiers. I don't know, something for the structure in it. So it's still all the modeling, but yeah, maybe a lot of like tools of the past, like sculpting objects that step by step on a micro level. It will be a thing of the past soon, because there is a field that I currently looking for as well. It's called 3D machine learning. So basically, it's a machine learning for 3D modeling, and it has a lot of fields inside of it. So it's like a wide area, and there are some tools like modeling by photo scanning, and this is also a kind of a new service by Apple that's doing it for you. I think by Apple, yeah. And recently there is application came up that allow you to render a 3D object from a photo. So kind of really interesting way to do a 3D modeling without any modeling at all. And it's also like a thing that allow you to generate spaces. I don't know, a lot of stuff happening, but still it's all unoptimized. And for gaming industry, for example, you always need to have this kind of optimized models which people can be using. Yeah, I see that Maria joined us. Maria, we are at the closing words.
Yes, hello.
Right now.
Yeah, hello everyone. I wanted to at least jump in and say you hi, bye, and thanks to you for all the work. Sorry for not being capable to join today. I have 2 workshops overlapped. I just finished with one, and I'm directly joining another one. So yeah, sorry for interrupting you now.
No, we are almost wrapped up. So we watched all the projects, and now saying bye to everyone. So you jumped up in like the last minute.
Yeah, I made it. That's super.
Yeah. I see that. I changed the time because I need to. I have a train in like an hour, so I will move there.
I'm super happy to meet you all, and that has been a greatest pleasure to work with you and to share at least a bit of knowledge. I'm sure that Vadim already said that, but I really love this type of initiative, and I hope that we could meet in person somewhere in the world. If you are in Austria, in St. Petersburg, in Moscow, please let us know, and we will meet and we will do something cool together. You should remember that you can find us also in other institutions. For example, Art and Science Master Program, where we are doing a lot of different education, like different kind of academic initiatives, and I think everything is free, and please join us. Everything what is online, I think you can join us from other parts of the world. Everything what is in St. Petersburg, if you're in St. Petersburg, you should be here. It's like an amazing place with the labs, with the exhibition center, with a gallery. We constantly do the exhibitions, we constantly do the talks with artists, bringing a lot of coolest people. So please come whenever you're in St. Petersburg. If you haven't been here, it's a beautiful city. so you should visit. And yeah, let's keep in contact. Now we have our emails, and I hope it was useful for you to work. I will now see the submission that you will be doing, and we will be preparing an exhibition of your work to be able to share it with our colleagues from Digital Future, proudly share it. And yeah, so you'll be also a bit promoted online.
Yeah, we discussed that we will return to students if we will have any maybe further requirements of works for publications. So I didn't check the folder yet that you prepared, but I think it's all there. And I will check the template from Digital Futures tomorrow, I think, and will write everyone if I have any questions. But I think first I will do everything that I can with stuff that uploaded, and later I can return. Okay, so yeah, I think it was super interesting, and Maria, you can also watch the recording after. I will upload it to YouTube of ITMO just after this call. Yep, you all have our contacts, so we are all in all this mail thread. Usually, I've written from 2 emails, my personal one and a Digital Lives workshop. Yeah, and Maria and Laura are in a copy as well. So yep, if someone else has any thoughts before we close the session, feel free to jump in. Yeah, it's always like an awkward silence in the Zoom, which I kind of I think which is kind of surreal. Okay, yeah. So happy to see you all. Great projects. Let's be in contact, and I will return to you shortly by email. Okay, see you all. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.